Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. This is Racquel Palmese. It's nice to see your names popping up here. It's always such a joy for me to connect into this beautiful matrix with you. So let's start feeling a connection. Use our breath, breathe deeply. There's so much beautiful breath work being offered by really amazing beings online now. And it's so important for us to keep breathing, to keep opening, keep receiving, keep releasing. So take a deep breath. Release whatever's on top for your day. As you breathe in, feel your body, maybe move your body around a little bit. Feel energy moving inside you. Stiffness, stuckness, anywhere. I hold everything in my neck and my shoulders. Maybe this is a place for you too. So I like to shake it out. I like to just shake it, move it, move it, move it. Especially if I'm grumbly about something, especially if I'm trying to process something difficult in my emotions or from my day. I try to move the energy that's getting stuck inside me, and I usually feel it as a stiffness, as like a clog. It may not hurt, it can hurt, it may not hurt, it may just feel kind of stuck. So moving it it's a really good idea. Opening the heart center, lifting the diaphragm, lifting the chin, opening this whole area, putting palms up to receive. And breathing. This is actually the opposite of how most of us spend our day, which is doing things, typing, tending to gardens, babies. We live in a very convoluted physical way, and we need to remember to let it open so our hearts can breathe, so that physically blood, energy, food we've eaten all can move through this whole passageway here. When it gets stuck, we start feeling things like heartburn. We start feeling our expression clogged up, and our voices get very small sometimes, or they overcompensate and yell to get our point across. We just speak louder. All this speaks of a clogged up fifth chakra here, this whole throat area. So as you're breathing with me right now, and we're kind of dropping in together, doesn't matter if you're here with me now or if you join later, please take a moment, not just to watch this, but to actually join in with me. Join in with me. Let our breath join with each other. You'll feel it as you drop in, that you're not only listening to words, but you're becoming part of a network, part of a matrix of other light beings around the planet that are also minded this way. Oh, excuse the truck noise outside. Breathing, feeling yourself joining in. Allow the isolation and separation that you may feel in life right now to evaporate as you actually join forces with all that is being called in right now. I can feel you out there, and I will feel those of you who come on later. And thank you. I'm getting messages and hearts of welcome. Hello, Dominic. Nice to feel you over there in England. And Carol in Hawaii. And Marina. Oh, and Emily Butterfly. Hi, Robin. So many beautiful people. Hello. Thanks for sending me waves and joining in here with me. So what it is that's been coming forth today has to do with true change, with allowing for things to actually change. We tend to allow change to come into our life a little, and then we'll recycle a lot of old belief systems and old energies, and we'll recreate the same old thing in a different way. So, as a species, all us human beings on this whole planet are being asked to evolve. We're being asked to come to a new level of being, and man, are we fighting it. Even the simplest request, like to wear a mask, is met with horrendous rebellion and all kinds of political and sanctimonious and self-righteous denial. As Dr. Tony Fauci put out there, maybe with some frustration recently, the most beautiful thing, I felt that he echoed the words of Spirit that's trying to tell us when he said, I don't know how to teach you to care for each other. I don't know how to teach that. How to care for each other. And we are being asked to change in a certain way that will allow for this kind of caring for each other. We're being asked to change in a way where we recognize how linked we are to one another, how indeed we are our brothers and sisters keepers. Going back to old biblical sayings, we are. But how do we do that? How do we manifest change? Of course, it starts with us. It starts with our own self, being willing to actually change and not just have a new idea about something, but actually change our consciousness. Change, true change, does not happen from the top down. It doesn't come out of the noise machine that we hear all part of right now, with all different ideas and voices coming at us from every direction we can't escape. Some of those ideas are great. They're not going to change us or anybody else who's not actually ready and desirous for change, and not many of us actually are. I would ask you to go inside for a minute. Ask yourself, am I desirous of the true sea change in my own beingness? Am I desirous of coming out of a sort of childhood that human beings have been in for eons of time and start coming in to a more spiritual adulthood? Am I desirous of deep change? Am I willing to evolve now? And if you're saying, oh sure, you're not looking deep enough. Because as you look in, listen for the other voices in you. Voices that are pretty sure they already know. Voices that are pretty sure they're right. Voices that are pretty sure that their ideas are the ones that if only everybody had these ideas, we'd all be great. And the main thing to ask yourself is, how much time do I spend looking backwards to a way, a me, that seemed like easier or better, to a time in society when things seemed to be easier or better? Make America great again. I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but it is a ridiculous notion. Our greatness is in our willingness to reinvent ourselves. Our whole country is a reinvention. That's how it started. It was willing, people were willing to recreate a way of being where people could design a place to be free. And it doesn't mean free to not wear a mask. It means free to keep uplifting each other. We, the people, our whole country started as a notion of caring for the collective. Think about it. True change means allowing our nation and ourselves and our communities, our families, our businesses to evolve. Maybe our whole economic system is ready for some evolvement. Maybe our ideas about what democracy and freedom are need to evolve greatly in terms of what's being asked of us today. Being our brothers and sisters' keepers means evolving to a place where we care for our planet as a being also, and all of life on the planet as being our total responsibility. So this evolvement, this change, this true change that is being asked for now by creation itself, by God, we're being offered a chance to do it voluntarily before we wreck things so badly that it'll be forced on us. This is a big attitude change. This is coming out of me to we, things we know, but we have a hard time allowing ourselves to flow with, to align with. True change is not going to come from the top down, out of any sort of noise machine. It is, and it is coming from the bottom up. It is a quiet revolution where enough of us join in a moment like right now, and we feel ourselves part of a matrix that is one of upliftment, that is one of prayer, prayerfulness, that is one of knowing that we are a reflection of creation, and creation is a reflection of all that we give it. True change is a quiet and powerful revolution that is happening right now. And in order for it to flourish and flower, each one of us has to be willing to look at ourselves internally and see what we're holding on to and be willing to let it go. All of it. All the old stories, fears, worries. I read quickly a little article in the paper today about how suburban families are creating learning pods for children since they can't safely get back to school. That makes a lot of sense because they have the money to do it. How do we take that concept and enable all families to be able to create learning pods, to hire a helper or a teacher? How do we extend ourselves to engage with the collective instead of just going on a march and making a lot of noise, which is great, and creating massive change, hopefully, and then go home and go right back to the way we are? How do we keep that energy going? How do we care for one another? How do we let go of these feelings of separation that we buy into? True change requires being willing to look at our core beliefs, and along with that, the pain and damaged emotions that we carry in these very deep places of us, and do the work of deep healing work to allow those old energies to move out of us. A lot of times these are about fear, about anger and frustration. We feel powerless and helpless to see things differently. We become stuck in our ideas. We become stagnated, stuck in a past which no longer exists, and a fear of a future that we can't know. And the only way we can be part of co-creating that future is to be willing to not know, to be in alignment with change, to allow it in our own life, to breathe into any old stuck ideas. You know what they are. You can feel them if you press into your diaphragm here. Press in there, you can feel it. There's fear, there's stubbornness. There's no, I don't want to let go. I don't want to let go of this thing that I love about my life. I'm not gonna. If I can buy a thing for $5 from China or someplace, why would I spend $15 to buy the same thing that's made in a little factory down the street? And I'm not saying that a lot of you aren't doing that. I know you are. But as a collective, how many of these things that are stuck in us, belief systems about people that have less than us, actually being able to come out of that poverty, judgments that we have about others and ourselves? Are we willing to do the deep work of releasing our ideas about the way we think things are rolling in our world? Are we willing to rethink just about everything? Are we willing to come out of fear? Stop hiding? Are we willing to really love one another? Are we willing to open our hearts to really see, to look deeply and think openly Are we willing, basically, to let go of this deep kind of paralyzing, fearful stagnation that has gripped us for generations now, where we are so easily led and misinformed, where we so often don't do our own thinking? Are we willing to consult with Spirit, keeping a journal, writing, finding our inner poetry or psalms? Are we willing to have this deep connection with our own hearts and look at the world through there instead of what we're being told? When you work with me, I never tell you, and those of you that have worked with me know this, I'll never tell you how to be or what you should be believing in or thinking. I don't have a clue. I will poke you. I will speak truth to you always. I will try to help you uncover those hidden gems of gifts that are inside yourself and release anything that's trying to get in the way of you being the fullest you that you can possibly be. That's my job. Until you can take that job over for yourself and go directly to Source for those prompts. Until you can get past your own ego needs and ego dreams and figure out what it is you truly are meant to do here. Even uncovering what you really love enough to devote your life to it. When you discover that, that's when you call in all the forces of creation to get behind you and help you, push you and challenge you, to keep you growing so that you can keep stepping up. And actualize and create and become. So true change. This is what we're being asked to look at, to say yes to know ourselves capable of. And not, this is the way I am. This is what my astrology says. This is what my face thing says. This is how I define myself. This is who I'm told I am and what my traits are and what my qualities are. I'm sorry. That may be true at some very base level. But if you really want to be part of true change, you have to desire not to be categorized and to allow yourself to be held accountable for your growth, for who you are becoming, and are you meeting the tests that we spoke about last Wednesday when we spoke about life is a test. Are you willing to become all you can be, to live up to your potential, or as much of it as you possibly can in this life? Are you willing to discover yourself in a big way, not a little way, not a scared way, Are you willing to show yourself? And in that showing, become truly, not as an act, not as a persona, not as a trying to be, but as a true beingness coming out of you from your heart. That's what true change brings you to. Come with me on that journey. I would hope to keep changing until my very last breath here, and take complete advantage of this opportunity of being in this life. To be part of this amazing transformation that's trying to happen here. Let's help it. Let's not fight it. Let's help each other. We each have a hand behind us helping the one following, and a hand before us that's held by one who has gone before. Let us be that link in a beautiful chain. And let it be true and real. And call forth things about you that you have no idea yet that you hold. All my love to you, always. And thank you. I'll see you next Wednesday. Shalom. Aloha.